So you don't have to have a certain animation about you. You don't have to have a certain personality or a certain calling to be a proclaimer of the gospel. That's for all of us. Now, it can be in one fashion or another. Some people can't even speak, but they can communicate. We are all to communicate the gospel. You know, there's a false attribution to actually a really great man of God named Francis. It was called Francis of Assisi. And a lot of people, it's just through like chain mails or, the telephone game, people, passing things around. There's a quote that's out there, and I've heard a lot of people use it in many different circles of Christianity, but it is not biblical, and it's something that Francis never said himself. But the phrase that's quoted out there a lot is preach the gospel at all times. And if words, you use words if necessary. Now, we are supposed to live a godly life. We are supposed to, live a witness and do all things that are right in the eyes of the Lord, but also in the sight of all men. But Francis never said that. But a lot of people take that and they use that, even though it's nowhere in the Bible, but they'll use that as an excuse to stay quiet. They'll use that as an excuse to not proclaim. Well, Jesus said if they see our good works, then they'll glorify our Father in heaven. Not if they don't know who your God is. And we're going to see here in the text here in a moment, nobody's going to get saved unless they hear the gospel. So it must be shared. And there are people, even in this community, that have never heard, on this street, that have never heard the gospel. They may have heard about Jesus. They may have heard about church, about the Bible. They may have heard something about God. I'll tell you, when they really hear the word, then faith is ignited. And we do have to bring them to a point of decision. And that's part of sharing the gospel. In Romans chapter 8, it says, "This is the word which we preach, that if you shall confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus, and shall believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. For with the heart man believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation."